Good morning, members. Members will please take their seats. We'll get this party started. Good morning. The hour for convening having arrived. All members will please take their seats. Mr. Clerk, will you ring the bell? We're going to have the morning roll call. All members present will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machines? Have all members voted? All members voted? If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machines? Doorkeepers, will you please close the doors and keep them closed? As is our custom, we will begin our day with scripture reading and prayer by the chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. Our chaplain this morning will be introduced by the lady from the 51st House District, Representative Esther Panich. Representative Panich.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Shalom, y'all. Come on. Shalom, y'all.
Shalom, y'all.
Thank you. It is my personal pleasure to introduce the chaplain of the day, my rabbi, Rabbi Joshua Heller. Rabbi Heller has served as the senior rabbi of Congregation B'nai Torah of Sandy Springs since 2004. He is a 9th generation rabbi. During his time in Georgia, he has grown the synagogue to become one of the largest Jewish congregations in the entire state. We have 900 families in membership. He has served many leadership roles in our community, including as president of the Atlanta Rabbinical Association, board member of the Jewish Federation of Greater Atlanta, and Jewish Family and Career Services. Rabbi Heller has served on the Sandy Springs City Ethics Commission and the Commission on Diversity. Rabbi Heller is visible on the national scene as a member of the Committee on Jewish Law and Standards and a member of the advisory board of the Posen Library of Jewish Culture and Civilization. Before becoming a leader in our community, Rabbi Heller graduated from Harvard University with honors and published research in the Journal for Computational Neuroscience, and served as Director of Distance Learning for the Jewish Theological Seminary. During the period after 9/11, he served as the rabbi of the downtown synagogue, having started his job on September 9th. It was one of the synagogues closest to the site of the World Trade Center. Rabbi Heller and his wife Wendy are the proud parents of 3 children. Welcome, Rabbi Heller.
Thank you, sir.
Good to have you.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, honored representatives, thank you for allowing me to bring you blessings today. As we reflect on the awesome work that each of you has committed to carry out, let us take the words of Exodus chapter 18 for inspiration and guidance. It is the story of a man named Jethro, not the Clampetts' dim-witted cousin, but Moses' thoughtful father-in-law. He was the high priest of Midian, and he heard about all the troubles that the Israelites had encountered and how God saved them, liberating them from slavery in Egypt, bringing them through the waters of the sea, saving them from implacable foes who attacked, and bringing them on their way to the promised land. On my heart this morning is the journey, the wilderness through which my people wander at this very moment. That is a burden that I bring and carry with me. But my task today is to bring blessing to you. So let me share with you the words that Jethro brought to Moses. So Jethro saw Moses judging the people from early in the morning to very late at night every day. It was like sine die every day. And he sees Moses and he says, "You can do better." And he suggested to Moses, "Appoint yourself a legislature." Jethro says, "Seek out from amongst all the people, people of valor, God-fearing people, people of truth, haters of ill-gotten gain." And Jethro is saying that only with people of that caliber, leaders of tens, of 50s, of hundreds, of thousands, will this nation come to its rightful place, its promised land, in peace. I'd like to suggest that the advice that Jethro gave is the very same advice and guidance that we ourselves need. That we need to see ourselves as being from among the people, knowing that we each represent an important segment of the community. That we have to be people of courage, being willing to act for truth even if it is against what is popular. That we must be people who are God-fearing. It is not enough to have convictions, but those convictions can't be the convictions that lead to convictions. We have to have a moral compass. We have to be anshe emet. We have to be people of truth with the wisdom and discernment to understand the reality of a matter, even when others might seek to obscure it. We must be haters of ill-gotten gain. We must come with integrity and look for the good of all, not just for the good of ourselves. Now, of course, the greatest miracle of the Bible, I don't know if it's that a father-in-law has useful advice or that a son-in-law chooses to take it. But indeed, it is a chapter later that Moses has taken this advice, and with that legacy in place, the people of Israel, the children of Israel, are able to receive the 10 Commandments, a legacy that they would pass on to the world and are still a North Star for so many. With that verse, with that lesson in mind, let us pray. God of all, we ask your blessings for these men and women who have taken on the awesome responsibility of service to the people of the state of Georgia. Help them be, as Jethro said, from among the people, remembering always whom they are here to serve. Help them be people of courage, not afraid to say what must be said, even if it is not what brings accolades or approval. Help them to be God-fearing, guided by faith and conscience. Help them to be people of truth, with the discernment to reach the heart of every matter, even when facts are obscured by rhetoric, so that they may enact laws and carry out policies that benefit all who live and work in our state. Help them to be haters of ill-gotten gain. Let them approach every issue with integrity, without regard to their own well-being, without temptation. Let them have the strength of character to always put ethics before ego, purpose before personality, and public before party. Let our lawmakers indeed be worthy so that you may bless them. Bless our lawmakers with wisdom to ensure the safety and security, the health and wholeness of all who dwell here. Bless them with the vision to help our state preserve the beautiful gifts of nature that you have given us. Bless them with discernment to alleviate poverty and seek prosperity for all. Bless them with the insight to conduct their affairs with integrity. Bless them as they leave their home and work untended to offer service to the greater good. Watch over their families, their businesses, their homes. Bless partners and children, co-workers and clients, and all who wait for their return. And may their sacrifices of time and treasure yield blessings for all. May they be illuminated, Lord, by your light, to be people of the nation, to be people of courage, to be fearers of God, to be people of truth, to be haters of the ill-gotten gain, so that the people of Georgia, all of us, your children, to reach the place of your promises, the places of truest potential in peace. And let us all say, Amen. Now we recite the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Awesome.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Got one? Esther? Thank you, Rabbi Heller, for those, your words and your lessons and your encouragement. Doorkeepers, you may unlock the doors. Members, you may join Rabbi Heller in the South Ante room to meet him and have a photo. That'd be your desire. That's it. Well, good morning again, members. Thank you, Rabbi. Today, we are the beneficiary of the Doctor of the Day. Dr. James Short is downstairs in the medical aid station. I want to thank Representative Mary Margaret Oliver for inviting our Doctor of the Day, and we appreciate it. If you need, thank you. If you need any sort of attention, I'm sure Dr. Short will be very glad to take care of you. Thank you, Representative Oliver, for making this invitation.
He emailed you?
Well, the letter he sent me
yeah.
about the email.
Well, I think he's had to change it.
Chair recognizes Chairman Tarvin, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits. Chairman Tarvin.
Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Information and Audits has read the journal from the previous legislative day and found it to be correct. And on another note, I am not what I was forced to be. I am what I chose to become.
All right. That was a good one.
That's very profound, and you are too, by the way. Thank you for your service. Chairman Tarvin, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to dispense with the reading of the journal? Chair hears none. The reading of the journal is dispensed with. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? Hearing none, the journal is confirmed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day?
Representative Stration of the 104th moves following be established as the order of business under the first part of the period. Unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of House bills and resolutions. Second reading of bills and resolutions. Reports of standing committees. Morning orders.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? Chair hears none, and the resolution is adopted. Mr. Clerk, are you ready? First reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 950 by Representative Alexander, the 66th, Bruce the 61st, Thomas the 65th, and New the 64th. Bill being titled an act to authorize the assessment and collection of a technology fee by the probate court of Douglas County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 951 by Representative Gunner, the 8th. A bill being titled an act to amend an act to reconstitute the Board of Education of Towns County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 952 by Representative Anderson of the 10th and Irwin of the 32nd. Bill be titled an act to authorize the assessment, collection, and distribution of a technology fee by the Magistrate Court of Habersham County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 953 by Representative Green of the 154th. Bill be titled an act to create a Board of Elections and Registration for Calhoun County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 954 by Representative Parrish, the 158th. Bill be titled an act to provide for the judge of the probate court of Emmanuel County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 955 by Representative Bruce, the 61st, Mitchell, the 88th, Bazemore, the 69th, Gilliard, the 162nd, Williams, the 168th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 12 of Title 50 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to commissions and other agencies.
State Planning and Community Affairs.
House Bill 956 by Representative Carpenter, the 4th, Tarver, the 2nd, Ridley, the 6th. Bill be titled an act to provide for the designation of Chief Judge of the Conasauga Judicial Circuit.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 957 by Representative Petrie, the 166th, Stevens, the 164th, Saints of the 180th, Towns, the 179th, Deloach of the 167th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 3, Chapter 7 of Title 52 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated related to abandoned vessels.
Public Safety and Homeland Security.
House Bill 958 by Representative Lott of the 131st, Lever of the 122nd, Newton the 127th. Bill be titled an act to authorize the Magistrate Court of Columbia County to impose and collect county law library fees.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 959 by Representative Corbett of the 174th, Lumsden of the 12th, Mathis of the 149th, Ridley the 6th, Prince of the 132nd. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 6 of Title 40 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to general provisions relative to the uniform rules of the road.
Motor vehicles.
House Bill 960 by Representative Blackman of the 146th, Williams of the 148th, Ballard of the 147th, Dickey the 145th. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 1562 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to the number of judges in superior courts.
Judiciary.
House Bill 961 by Representative Lumsden of the 12th. Bill be titled an act to amend an act to provide a new charter for the city of Menlo.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 962 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 63rd. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 14 and Title 16 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to racketeer, influence, and corrupt organizations.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 963 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 63rd. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 3 of Article 16 of Chapter 2 of Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to health of elementary and secondary school students.
Education.
House Bill 964 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 63rd. Bill being titled, an act to amend Chapter 4, Title 25, Code Section 311152, and Chapter 8 of Title 35 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to firefighter standards and training.
Public Safety and Homeland Security.
House Bill 965 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 63rd. Bill being titled, an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 7 of Title 44 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to landlord and tenant in general.
Judiciary.
House Bill 966 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Schofield of the 63rd, Davis of the 87th. Bill be titled, an act to amend Chapter 3, Title 50 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to the state flag, seal, and other symbols.
State Properties.
House Bill 967 by Representative Momptown of the 17th, Mathis of the 149th, Gullett of the 19th, Cannon of the 172nd, and Kelly the 16th, and others. Bill be titled, an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 10 and Title 15 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions relative to magistrate courts.
Judiciary.
House Bill 968 by Representative Schofield of the 63rd, Carpenter of the 4th, Tran of the 80th, Gilliard of the 162nd, Holland of the 54th. Bill be titled, an act to amend Chapter 2 of Title 39 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to the regulation of the employment of minors.
Industry and Labor.
House Bill 969 by Representative Schofield of the 63rd, Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, and Gilliard of the 162nd. Bill be titled, an act to amend Title 8 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated related to buildings and housing.
Public and Community Health.
House Bill 970 by Representative Dickey, the 145th, Knight of the 134th, Irwin of the 32nd, Dempsey the 13th, Mathis of the 149th, and others. Bill be titled, an act to amend Part 4 of Article 7 of Chapter 3, Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to realizing educational achievement can happen scholarship.
Higher Education.
House Bill 971 by Representative Newton of the 127th, Hilton of the 48th, Reeves of the 99th, Silcox of the 53rd, Hitchens of the 161st, and others. Bill being titled, an act to amend Chapter 7 and Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to income taxes.
Ways and
House
Means.
Bill 972 by Representative Horner of the 3rd, Cameron of the 1st, Harvard of the 2nd. Bill being titled, an act to authorize the governing authority of the city of Fort Oglethorpe to levy an excise tax.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 973 by Representative Camp of the 135th, Collins of the 71st, Hitchens the 161st, Lumsden of the 12th, Gunner of the 8th, and others. Bill be titled, an act to amend Article 2, Chapter 7, and Title 48 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to imposition rate computation, exemptions, and credits from state income tax.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 974 by Representative LaHood of the 175th, Anderson of the 10th, Leverett of the 123rd, Blackman of the 146th, Jones of the 25th, and others. Bill be titled, an act to amend Chapter 2, Title 21 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to primaries and elections generally.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 975 by Representative LaHood of the 175th, Anderson of the 10th, Leverett of the 123rd, Blackman of the 146th, Jones of the 25th, and others. Bill be titled, an act to amend Chapter 2 of Title 21 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to primaries and elections generally.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 976 by Representative LaHood of the 175th, Anderson of the 10th, Leverett of the 123rd, Blackman of the 146th, Jones of the 25th, and others. Bill be titled, an act to amend Chapter 2 of Title 21 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to primaries and elections generally.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 977 by Representative LaHood of the 175th, Anderson of the 10th, Leverett of the 123rd, Blackman of the 146th, Jones of the 25th, and others. Bill be titled, an act to amend Chapter 2 of Title 21 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to primaries and elections generally.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 978 by Representative Jones of the 25th, Corbett of the 174th, Holcomb of the 81st, and Huddleston of the 72nd. Bill be titled, an act to amend Code Section 291 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to traffic laws applicable to bicycles.
Motor Vehicles.
House Bill 979 by Representative Gamble of 15th and Scoggins the 14th. A bill being titled, an act to authorize the assessment and collection of a technology fee by the probate court of Bartow County.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 980 by Representative Schofield of the 63rd, Carter of the 93rd, McLean of the 109th, Marin of the 96th, Davis of the 87th, and others. The bill be titled an act to amend Article 7, Chapter 8 of Title 34 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to employment security benefits.
Industry and Labor.
House Bill 981 by Representative.
Proceed.
House Bill 981 by Representative Burchett of the 176th, Cannon of the 172nd, Dickey of the 145th, Meeks of the 178th, and Rose of the 124th. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 8 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to buildings and housings.
Agriculture and Consumer Affairs.
House Bill 982 by Representative Gamble of the 15th, Dubnik of the 29th, Irwin of the 32nd, Martin of the 49th, and Hong of the 103rd. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 14 of Title 34 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to the State Workforce Development Board.
Higher Education.
House Bill 983 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 63rd. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 18 to Title 15 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions relative to prosecuting attorneys.
Judiciary Non-Civil.
House Bill 984 by Representative Lumsden of the 12th, Tarver of the 2nd, Taylor of the 173rd, Williams of the 148th, and Gullett of the 19th. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 25 and 33 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to fire protection and safety and insurance.
Insurance.
House Bill 985 by Representative Martin of the 49th and Gamble of the 15th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 7, Chapter 3, Title 20 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to scholarships, loans, and grants.
Higher Education.
House Bill 986 by Representative Thomas, the 21st, Jones, the 25th, Jaspers, the 11th, Camp of the 135th, Gunther of the 8th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 2 of Title 21 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to elections and primaries generally.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 987 by Representative Cannon of the 172nd, Irwin of the 32nd, Burchett of the 176th, Yurt of the 152nd, Leverett of the 123rd, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 22-165 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to equalization grants.
Education.
House Bill 988 by Representative Thomas, the 21st, Jones, the 25th, Jaspers, the 11th, Camp of the 135th, Gunther of the 8th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 25 of Title 50 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to the Georgia Technology Authority.
Technology and Infrastructure Innovation.
House Bill 989 by Representative Manolowitz of the 42nd, Stoner of the 40th, Wilkerson of the 38th, Campbell of the 35th, Cummings of the 39th, and others. A bill to be titled an act to amend an act providing for the election of members of the Board of Education of Cobb County.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 990 by Representative Bell of the 75th, Willis of the 55th, Carpenter of the 4th, Evans of the 57th, Green of the 154th. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 24-923 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to admissibility of photographs.
Judiciary. Mr. Clerk, hold it just for a second. I know we're almost done. Thank you. Proceed, Mr. Clerk.
House Resolution 807 by Representative Schofield of the 63rd, Davis of the 87th, Evans of the 89th, Buckner of the 137th, and Scott of the 76th. A resolution supporting a state goal of 100% clean energy by 2050.
Energy, Utilities, and Telecommunications.
House Resolution 808 by Representative Schofield of the 63rd, Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Mitchell of the 88th, and Buckner of the 137th. A resolution urging Congress to allow certain benefits to be used.
Public and Community Health.
House Resolution 809 by Representative Schofield of the 63rd, Mitchell of the 88th, Beverly of the 143rd, Davis of the 87th, Scott of the 76th. A resolution supporting the creation of a state work group to increase chronic disease information and screenings.
Public and Community Health.
That completes first readers.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Second reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 928 by Representative Ridley of the 22nd, Ridley of the 6th, Powell of the 33rd, Horner of the 3rd, Fleming of the 114th, a bill relating to appointment of substitute for absent or disqualified district attorney. House Bill 929 by Representative Ridley of the 22nd, Ridley of the 6th, Powell of the 33rd, Horner of the 3rd, Persinger of the 119th, and others. A bill relating to imposition rate computation, exemptions, and credit for state income tax. House Bill 930 by Representative Ridley of the 22nd, Ridley of the 6th, Reeves of the 99th, Powell of the 33rd, Horner of the 3rd, a bill relating to disclosure of arrest booking photographs prohibited. House Bill 931 by Representative Ridley of the 22nd, Ridley of the 6th, Reeves of the 99th, Horner of the 3rd, and Persinger of the 119th, a bill relating to government transparency and campaign finance. House Bill 932 by Representative Mathis of the 149th, Gunter of the 8th, Gullett of the 19th, Vance of the 133rd, Lott of the 131st, and others, a bill relating to murder, malice murder, felony murder, murder in the second degree. House Bill 933 by Representative Montana of the 17th, Barton of the 5th, Mathis of the 149th, a bill relating to special license plates promoting or supporting certain worthy agencies, funds, or nonprofit corporations. House Bill 934 by Representative Montana of the 17th, Mathis of the 149th, Gullett of the 19th, Cannon of the 172nd, Gunter of the 8th, and others, a bill relating to self-service storage facilities. House Bill 935 by Representative Vance of the 133rd, Hitchens of the 161st, Cameron of the 1st, Scoggins of the 14th, Chastain of the 7th, and others, a bill relating to use of speed detection devices and red light cameras. House Bill 936 by Representative Bonner of the 73rd, Scoggins of the 14th, Gullett of the 19th, Kelly of the 16th, Knight of the 134th, and others, a bill relating to health of elementary and secondary school students. House Bill 937 by Representative Montana of the 17th, Gullett of the 19th, Camp of the 135th, Cannon of the 172nd, Corbett of the 174th, a bill relating to ride-share network services and transportation referral services. House Bill 938 by Representative Barnes of the 86th, Taylor of the 92nd, Glazer of the 67th, Alexander of the 66th, Bell of the 75th, and others, a bill relating to landlord and tenant. House Bill 939 by Representative Reeves of the 99th, Hitchens of the 161st, Lumps of the 12th, Vance of the 133rd, Scoggins of the 14th, and others, a bill relating to motor vehicles and traffic. House Bill 940 by Representative Jones of the 25th, Williams of the 148th, Cannon of the 172nd, Horner of the 3rd, Barrett of the 24th, a bill relating to the Fair Business Practices Act of 1975. House Bill 941 by Representative Irwin of the 32nd, Jones of the 47th, Dubnik of the 29th, Jones of the 25th, Reeves of the 99th, and others, a bill relating to capital outlay funds in elementary and secondary education. House Bill 942 by Representative Maynard of the 56th, Lott of the 131st, Daniel of the 117th, Dempsey of the 13th, Hagan of the 156th, and others, a bill relating to sexual extortion. House Bill 943 by Representative Jaspers of the 11th, Powell of the 33rd, Ballinger of the 23rd, Horner of the 3rd, Ridley of the 22nd, and others, a bill relating to exemptions from sales and use tax. House Bill 944 by Representative Hawkins of the 27th, Donohue of the 31st, Leverett of the 123rd, McCollum of the 30th, Cox of the 28th, a bill relating to ad valorem taxation of property. House Bill 945 by Representative Hawkins of the 27th, Taylor of the 173rd, Anderson of the 10th, Irwin of the 32nd, Parrish of the 158th, a bill relating to state employees' health insurance plan. House Bill 946 by Representative Hawkins of the 27th, Donohue of the 31st, McCollum of the 30th, Cox of the 28th, Irwin of the 32nd, and others, a bill relating to special district mass transportation sales and use tax. House Bill 947 by Representative Leverett of the 123rd, Abstration of the 104th, Hong of the 103rd, Gunter of the 8th, and Oliver of the 82nd, a bill relating to general provisions concerning superior courts. House Bill 948 by Representative Montana of the 17th, Kelly of the 16th, Gullett of the 19th, Scoggins of the 14th, Bartone of the 5th, and others, a bill relating to primaries and elections generally. House Bill 949 by Representative Montana of the 17th, Gullett of the 19th, Scoggins of the 14th, Kelly of the 16th, Barton of the 5th, and others, a bill relating to elections and primaries generally. House Resolution 804 by Representative Martin of the 49th, Silcox of the 53rd, Jones of the 47th, Jones of the 25th. A resolution proposing amendments to the Constitution so as to change the date by which temporary loans for counties, municipalities, and other political subdivisions of the state are payable in full from the end of the calendar year to within 12 months of the initial funding date of the loans, through second readers.
Thank you, Clerk. Reports of standing committees. The clerk will read.
Representative Tyler Paul Smith, of the 18th District Chairman of the Committee on Judiciary Non-Civil, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Judiciary Non-Civils had under its consideration the following bill of the House, instructing me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendation. House Bill 881 do pass by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Smith of the 18th District, Chairman. That completes the reading of the reports of standing committees.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. We'll be giving a test before we adjourn today to make sure everyone heard what the clerk just read. If you don't know, you got to stay here. We'll adjourn about 5, maybe 6. Y'all are listening closely. Members will please take seats. If you'll come in from any rooms, we'll get on with the further business of the day. Take your seats and cease conversation. Or if you need to have conversation, take it to the ante room. We'll move on to morning orders, but before we do that, members, we have 2 former members of this body that are back today that will be recognized in that capacity in just a moment. But I want to take a moment and recognize Chairman Heath Clark. Chairman Clark, it's good to see you. Hope your family's well. Good to have you back. And I think you brought some friends with you that we'll talk about them in a few moments. And Chairman Tom Taylor, sitting in the gallery. Tom, always good to have you back in the house. Thank you for your service as well. And I think you have some friends with you as well. We'll speak to them in just a moment. All right, well, now we have some morning orders. Now, we're going to alert you when 2 minutes is up. And I think all of you can get this done before 2 minutes, and so feel free to do just that. So the Augusta delegation, if you'll make your way down front. Representative Frazier, you're recognized for a morning order. Representative Gloria Frazier. So wait just a moment. I think you have some folks that are a little, well, close enough. If you want them up there with you, they're part of your delegation. I see a couple of stragglers there.
We got them. Come on, stragglers.
But they're good friends. Representative Frazier.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And to my colleagues, we're here today because we have some distinguished guests in the gallery today. And I would just like for all of my veterans to please stand that are in the gallery today that have traveled here from Augusta, Georgia. Augusta, Georgia the members that you see here today and all the veterans that are here today, we are working very diligently to get a veteran cemetery in Augusta, Georgia. We have over 66,000 military families in the greater Augusta area, and with this cemetery, it's projected that we will be interring about 749 members, veterans per year. So they are here actually lobbying for this veteran cemetery. And Mr. Speaker, I just want to say really quickly, between the House and the Senate, half of them are in the Senate right now. We have 675 years of collective service protecting our United States of America. Thank you all so much. We have the Army, the Navy, Air Force, and the Marines. We have combat tours veterans. We have the Cold War, the Desert Storm, Somalia, Operation Iraq, Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom. And one of the members representing the Women Army Corps, the WAC. Raise your hand. We also have with us our distinguished participants that are trying to get this passed through, and it is our former mayor of Augusta, Barb Young. He's a Vietnam veteran, United States Air Force. We have our Augusta Commissioner, Alvin Mason. He is U.S. Army, American Legion State Commander, Melvin Weaver, Desert Storm Army, American Legion District Commander, Thomas Pinckney. We have Patriot Guard riders. These are the riders that ride with the veterans as they are going to be laid to rest. We have our commander, Leon McLam. We'd like to thank you all for coming up today to advocate for our cemetery in the Augusta, Richmond, CSRA area, and we are here to support you. I am a military spouse, so I understand how important it is to make sure that we have our husbands and loved ones laid to rest close to us so where we can actually visit them. Currently, right now, we have interment in Fort Jackson and Milledgeville, Georgia. And a lot of the spouses would like to visit their loved ones a lot more. So thank you again for joining us, and we thank you for your service.
Thank you, Representative. Thank you for the veterans here. Thank you for those veterans in the gallery. Thank you for your service to our great country. Representative Nulowitz and Chairman Knight, recognized for a morning order. Give the members in the well your attention, please. Chairman, lady, okay, Representative Nulowitz.
Thank you, everyone. Today, as you may have noticed, coming into the Capitol is Georgia-Japan Day at the Capitol. This is the 50th anniversary in 2024 of official diplomatic relations between the state of Georgia and the nation of Japan. And we are very excited that there are multiple Japanese businesses here today that you can learn about. You can learn about the tremendous economic impact that Japanese-owned companies have in the state of Georgia. And most importantly, I think we would like to recognize some friends who are in the gallery right now. We have Consul General of Japan, Mio Maeda, and several members of the consular staff. Thank you so much for joining us today. And it is especially notable that this evening, Consul General Maeda is going to be conferring upon former Governor Nathan Deal the Order of the Rising Sun Gold and Silver Star in recognition of his outstanding contribution to promoting regional exchanges and mutual understanding between Japan, the United States, and the state of Georgia. And so we look forward to seeing that this evening. Chairman Knight?
As many of you know, we've been up here before. What a special relationship that we have with Japan. Georgia has with Japan, but not only Georgia, but our country. They are a global partner and strategic ally. And it is so important that we continue these relationships and particularly to Georgia. 50 years, they are one of our largest trade partners. And if you look around your communities, you're going to find that there is a Japanese business there, and they are employing Georgians, almost 50,000 Georgians. So it is a great partnership that we have all around with Japan, and we are excited about the 50th anniversary, and we're excited about the next 50 years. So, Consulate General, thank you so much, and we look forward to the rest of the day.
Thank you, members. What a great evening and what a great honor for Governor Deal, and thank you, Consul General, for recognizing the governor at that time later in the day. Thank you all for being here in the House today, and thank you for your relationship and your friendship. Chairman Dickey and the Houston County delegation. Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
They're on the way.
They're on the way.
Has one
we
more.
got a very distinguished Houston County delegation. Oh,
it's fine.
wait a minute. We got a new. Do we have a new member?
You do? He loves you evidently because he's
up
joining
there.
in there.
He's claiming it. I'm glad to have him. Anyway, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to recognize a distinguished group in the gallery that came this morning, our Houston County Youth Leadership class. They're juniors, and if y'all will stand, they're juniors from all the high schools across Houston County. And I really appreciate the great job April Bragg does leading our chamber and bringing this group along with Chairman Heath Clark there this morning too. It's great to see both of y'all and what you do in Houston County. I hope these young people enjoy their day here, and great to see y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good-looking group. Y'all have a great delegation. I wasn't talking about the delegation being good-looking. I was talking about that group up there. Thank y'all for being here, juniors, and we wish you the best remainder of the year and your senior year. So thanks for representing Houston County. Whip Park, Florida Hung, recognized for a morning order. Give the members your attention, please. All of these are very important to a lot of people, not just the members making the presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. Today we are celebrating Korean American Day in Georgia. This year marks the 121st anniversary of the first Korean immigrants who came to this country in pursuit of the American dream. With more than 100,000 Korean Americans who call Georgia home, they've not only made critical contributions to our economy and society, they've helped strengthen the critical bilateral relationship between the state of Georgia and the Republic of Korea that's resulted in approximately $14.5 billion in investments here in the state of Georgia over the past few years. We have some special guests with us this morning: the Consul General from the Republic of Korea and leaders of key organizations that serve the Korean American community, including the Korean American Association of Greater Atlanta, the Peaceful Unification Advisory Council, the Korean Veterans Association, the Korean American Chamber of Commerce, the Korean American Coalition of Metro Atlanta, and many others. So to our special guests, if y'all would rise and be recognized, and members, if y'all will give them a warm welcome to the People's House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Thank you, Whip Park. Welcome to the People's House. We're glad you're here, and boy, what a great relationship we have with South Korea, and everything y'all do for to partner with us here in the state of Georgia. We got it going on pretty good, don't we? It's good stuff. So thank y'all for being here, and thank you for your support, and come back again. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to a group of privileged resolutions?
Honoring the life and memory of Diane Larche. Honoring the life and memory of Margaret Lee Ayers. Recognizing and commending Tyler Jesse Simmons. Recognizing and commending Judge Kelly Hill. Recognizing and commending the Georgia Speech Language Hearing Association. Recognizing and commending Masood Khan. Recognizing and commending Seek to Fulfill. Commending Nico Cherie. Commending and congratulating Kevin Green. Recognizing and commending Delbar Syed and his positive impact on small business. Recognizing January 30th, 2024 as Latino Day at the state capitol. Recognizing and commending the Coalition for Global Hepatitis Elimination of the Task Force for Global Health. Recognizing and commending Johan Baidyal and Cynthia Bay. Recognizing the 2024 Lunar New Year celebration. And honoring the United States Capitol law enforcement for protecting the United States Capitol. And for other purposes, that completes the reading of the privileged resolutions.
Is there any objection to adopting the privilege resolutions? Chair hears none, and the resolutions are adopted. Members, we'll move on to afternoon orders. First, I want to make you aware of one of the key critical, if I can have your attention, one of the critical players in our success in keeping order in the work that we do here. That's Scotty Long, in the clerk's office. Scotty is has some health issues right now. He's in the hospital, so I'll ask you to say a prayer for Scotty and remember him the next couple of days, and he'll be back with us very soon. So remember Scotty, a dear friend and a great member of the team that helps this house function. Good man. Okay, afternoon orders. I've not been doing a very good job at enforcing time limits, but I'm getting very close to that. So, afternoon orders, you have 3 minutes. 3 minutes, and you need to be getting to the end of your comments, very close to the end of your comments, or we're going to let someone else speak. So with that, that's an admonition you should follow. We'll begin our afternoon orders with Representative Daniel for our first afternoon order. And a friend. And
Thank you,
Zane,
Mr.
yeah.
Speaker.
Zane's with you, okay.
Zane's with me. He's awake this morning. We'll see if he'll cooperate. Good morning, y'all. Over the past few weeks, I've sat in my seat back there and listened very intently about maternal mortality from my colleagues. And I've listened to them speak at length about the impact that it's having on women across our state and how it's affecting their families. And on those points, I couldn't agree more. But what has been glaringly and alarmingly absent from every single speech that they've given on this issue, as is typical with many of the issues they raise, are tangible solutions to the problem. And that's because they have none. There is no substance, no concrete plan, no action, just complaint-filled words. Standing up here and referring to women as birthing people does not save women's lives. And releasing statements tying our maternal mortality rate to a lack of Medicaid expansion, when Medicaid has already been expanded for expectant mothers and their children, is not only disingenuous, but dangerous. Since the beginning of session, they have stood up here and told the people of Georgia that they are urging Republicans to act on this important issue. But the truth is, we have. Republicans in the House under the leadership of Speaker Ralston and Speaker Burns have worked on solutions and delivered results on this issue, going all the way back to 2014, when the Georgia Maternal Mortality Review was created. Since then, Republicans have proactively led on this issue to deliver real results. And I'd like to read you some of those efforts that have been made over the last 5 years. A study committee was led by Chairwoman Cooper in 2019. It paved the way for significant policy to address the issue. House Bill 1114 in 2020 and later Senate Bill 338 in 2022 extended postpartum Medicaid coverage for mothers up to a year after birth, providing critical continual care for an additional year. Senate Bill 106, the Healthy Babies Act, passed last year and was signed into law by the governor that creates a Medicaid program to provide remote maternal health care services to women with high-risk pregnancies in rural areas. House Bill 911, our fiscal year's budget, included $800,000 to increase select OBGYN reimbursement levels, which will increase access to expecting mothers. And in House Bill 19, another budget, it provided $1.7 million to fund the pilot program within Senate Bill 106 to provide home visits in at-risk and underserved rural communities and through early childhood. It included $47.9 million in ongoing funding to provide coverage through 12 months post-delivery. And it eliminated the waiting period for children and pregnant women to receive Medicaid. And finally, Senate Bill 35, which was agreed to yesterday by this body, It required glucose monitors to be covered as a benefit for Medicaid recipients to address diabetes, which is one of the leading complications of infant mortality. These are just a handful of solutions that Republicans in this body have delivered on to address maternal mortality in our state. And as someone who just recently survived a very complicated and high-risk pregnancy, I want to offer my sincere gratitude to Chairwoman Cooper for her continued efforts around maternal health, because it is possible that I wouldn't be standing here today with you guys if it were not for the efforts that have been made over the last decade. Today I have a number of resolutions, so bear with me. I'm going to try and talk fast, but the first is to recognize today as Maternal Health Awareness Day. And I have a group of women in the gallery, if you guys want to stand. They will be sharing their stories later on. They're here with Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies, and they're going to be sharing their stories in Liberty Plaza from 3 to 5 p.m. this afternoon. And so I would encourage all of my colleagues to stop by if you have the time. Second, I would like to recognize Miss Sharina Hines-Rush, if you could stand up. This woman was solely responsible for keeping me in the hospital and recognizing the life-threatening issues that I was experiencing. And so I brought her today, and I'd also like to shout out some of my doctors, because I owe an immense amount of gratitude to them. Dr. Tamika C., Dr. Tope Fapahunda, my midwife Shannon Mayfield, and my team of nurses, Susan, Katie, Tammy, Sharina, Ara, and Lashika. Please help me recognize their efforts and contributions to maternal and infant care in Georgia. I'll end my statements today by saying I believe that it is vital that we are honest with the women of the state about the efforts that are being made to improve maternal and fetal outcomes so that women will feel comfortable seeking care when they need it most. While I cannot say whether or not my friends across the aisle will continue to stand up here and politicize this important issue, I can guarantee that we in this body will continue to lead, and we will seek solutions, because that is what the women of Georgia deserve. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Members will Chairman Gilliard, you ready? Fine gentleman from down on the coast in Savannah, Georgia. Give the representative your attention, please, if you'll stand.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members and brothers and sisters of this Georgia General Assembly, we stand today with the world. We stand today with the nation. We stand today with the state of Georgia. And we stand today with the city of Atlanta. A gentle giant has taken his rest. We're praying right now. Just minutes ago, the King family had a press conference. And we're praying in the homegoing of Mr. Dexter Scott King. Yesterday, he took his rest in fighting a battle dealing with prostate cancer. But he took his rest from being that gentle giant, from fighting for the rights of intellectual property of the King legacy, from fighting for the rights as a gentle giant and following the wishes of his mother to make sure we had a Martin Luther King Center for Nonviolence and Social Change. We're praying today for Bernice, we're praying for Marty, we're praying for Leah. We're also praying that Dr. Naomi King is in the hospital for the last month, one of the matriarchs of the family. We're praying for Isaac Ferris, and we're praying for every other member of the King family. Today we stand with the gentle giant, who they said emulated his father in looks and in conversation and in voice, but more so a great giant who was very quiet, who has taken his rest. And so to the members of this assembly, we stand here today in asking for your prayers that we will pray for the King family and we'll pray for the family of the late Dexter Scott King. Will we have a moment of silence? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Very appropriate. Thank you, members, for your attention and your respect. Chairman Jaspers. take just a second, let everyone. Chairman Jaspers is recognized for an afternoon order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, if you'll look on your desk today and all the other things that are on there, you see our color how to do a road naming resolution handout. I'm going to give you a couple of hints. We have a great policy analyst, Abby Day, that created this for you. We did this last year to try to simplify how this is done.
Mr. Chairman, suspend just for a moment.
Yes, sir.
Members, I want you to pay attention to this, because if you come ask me how to name a road, I'm not going to help you. The chairman's doing that right now. So for those of you who don't read very well, you best listen up. This is the audio version.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yeah, we do talk to a lot of people about this, but this is a great honor that you have at your hands to be able to name a road, a roundabout, a bridge, intersection, section of a road, whatever you choose to, after someone in your community that needs to be honored. If you're not doing it, you're missing out. Because it's a great opportunity in your community to recognize these special individuals that have done something special in your community. Now, I do underline the words when I say choose carefully, especially if you're choosing someone who is still alive, because things change and things happen. And so be careful about that. And when you bring a bill to me that does this, I will warn you about that personally. Josh Waller, our GDOT representative, is our key guy on this, because you'll have to get what's called a conflict letter that says, well, somebody already named it before you. Someone in your seat, house, 10 years ago could have named it. So we make sure that that's not done, and then we go ahead and name these roads. You've got a couple of weeks. It's not like a stress of getting it done yet, but it will become that, because you've got to advertise it in your paper and all these little things like that have to be done. Do it. Don't be timid. I sit right over here. You're welcome to come to me at any time and ask a question. Lisa Hagan, our vice chairman of our transportation committee, can also answer those, and we're just glad to help you do that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
No, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think that's very helpful to the members. Representative Bernal is recognized for an afternoon order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I rise honoring Sarah Lillian Plummer, the last living Tuskegee Airman who was a member of the elite group. She was hired as a timekeeper for the famous flyers who trained in World War II and successfully escorting the United States bombers to victory over the Nazi German forces. She passed away on December 8 at the age of 101. Can we have a moment of silence? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Bernal, for that remembrance. Greatest generation, no doubt about it. Representative Reese, recognized for, he's going to bring the Dean of the House with him. Good stuff. Representative Reese.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I rise with Representative Gerald Green to stand with my Albany State University family to remember and recognize the life of Joshua Raines. As shared by the president of Albany State University, Dr. Marion Ross Frederick, freshman student Joshua Raines passed away after a tragic car accident this past Sunday. 2 other students involved in the accident are still in the hospital with serious injuries. Joshua was a health science major who had dreams of becoming a nurse. He graduated with Griffin High School class of 2023, full of energy, hope, and aspirations, which we all should wish for our young people these days. On behalf of the Albany State University family, Representative Gerald Green, Representative David Sampson, and myself, I extend our deepest condolences to the family, his mother, Ms. Jeanette Raines, and his father, Mr. Johnny Raines. None of us know the day nor the hour, but may God bless this young man, his family, and Albany State University. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative. Prayers for the family and for those young folks that are injured. Prayers for them to recover. Representative Derek Jackson is recognized for an afternoon order. Representative Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, if I can have your attention. The number of deaths that occur in these United States by guns. Over 48,000 Americans, citizens, have died by guns. We started off this session, Mr. Speaker, recognizing those who were killed by guns in the line of duty. 118 law enforcement officers died in the line of duty. Nearly 2,600 students died by a gun. In fact, Mr. Speaker, since Columbine in 1999, more than 338,000 students experienced gun violence at school. At school. A place where they should be safe, a place that should be conducive for learning. Mr. Speaker, nearly 26,000 gun deaths by suicide. 57% of those suicides done by men. Over 20,000 deaths by gun from homicides. 80% of those homicides done by men. Mr. Speaker, over 686 mass shootings took place last year. I know some probably thinking, why are we talking about a national? So let me bring it home. Georgia ranks 20th when it comes to gun violence, averaging 2,200 deaths per year. Mr. Speaker, we say we're the #1 state to do business. And as the rabbi shared with us all this morning, that we should put people over politics. And one way we can do this is create a safer environment for all Georgians so they, too, do not have a moment of silence because we did not do something that we could have done. We yielded well.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Gladney is recognized for an afternoon order. Representative Lynn Gladney, there she is. You changed your glasses from yesterday, didn't you? I like those too.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a gentle reminder that the Women's Caucus will be meeting today in room 216 here in the Capitol. Look forward to seeing you all there. Thank you.
Thank you. The lady has yielded the well. Thank you, Representative. That completes our afternoon orders. We have some announcements. Chairman Chokus has an announcement. Take your time, man. You might fall down and break your leg or something. We don't want that to happen. Chairman Chokus.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Small Business Development Committee will be meeting bright and early tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. in room 506. Our program tomorrow will be the Restaurant Association, and our own Casey Carpenter will be bringing some delicious samples of his cuisine. And Brent Cox, I hope, will be there too to talk about the restaurant industry. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Hope to see everyone there.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to thank Chairman Carpenter and Dalton for that beautiful, beautiful rug that we received yesterday. Thank y'all so much. That's awesome. One of the best we've ever received. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Chairman Tarvin represents Dalton as well. Representative Jasmine Clark Representative Carter, Doreen Carter, is up, so we'll go ahead now. Representative Clark, Jasmine Clark.
All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am here to announce that tomorrow, the Georgia Future Caucus is having a luncheon in room 502 in CLOB. All members of the Georgia Future Caucus, that's a bipartisan caucus, so Democrats and Republicans are invited to the luncheon. And then later that evening, we are having a reception at One Flew South on the Beltline. That reception starts at 6:30. It'll be a great opportunity for everyone to meet and network, and that is also for members of the Future Caucus. So lunch at 12 and reception at 6:30. Hope to see you there. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative. Chairman Meeks, you have an announcement? Let's hear it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the House Subcommittee on Economic Development will meet at 1 o'clock in room 341 here in the Capitol. 1 o'clock, room 341. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Park Cannon. There she is. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today is a good day in Georgia because it's Doula Day. And now until 2 p.m., they will be in Capitol Room 125, which is right downstairs. I recommend you just stop by and learn about their scope of practice a little bit. They also come bringing free postpartum baby on the way boxes to all members that you can take home to your constituency. So if you just stop by 125 today until 2 p.m., you'll get to meet some doulas. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Thank you. Go by and visit. Representative Carter. There, we found her. Good morning. Representative Doreen Carter is recognized for an announcement.
Good morning. It's Happy Tuesday. So you all know why I'm here. On next Thursday, February the 1st, we want to encourage you to wear red. And then on Friday, which is actually to go red for women, we are encouraging you to even go back into your districts because heart disease is curable. And y'all know I'm gonna come back next week and encourage y'all to eat vegetables. But if we all change our diets, exercise and eat better, we could definitely live a little longer. But on next Thursday, we wanna bring awareness to heart disease in women because it is the silent killer. And in this room, we know we're under a lot of stress and we can balance that. So maybe one day we'll get some yoga inside the chamber. But for next Thursday, please wear red. Thank you.
That's next Thursday a week. Chairman Mark Newton. There he is. Oh, yeah, he's got the blood. Chairman Newton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is just a reminder that starting tomorrow, in between CLOB and the Capitol, will be an opportunity to donate blood. It's an opportunity to do something that can help save the lives here in the metro area in particular. We have a single blood donation can save 3 lives. So it's an opportunity to go make a big difference. I hope you'll join me tomorrow afternoon from 8 until 5 between CLOB and the Capitol. You can go in and donate blood. They'll take good care of you, and you'll rest easy knowing that you've helped save lives. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you for the proponents of giving blood. Chairman Parsons, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Speaker Burns. This afternoon at 3 p.m. in room 403 at the Capitol up here, we'll have a meeting of the Energy, Utilities, and Telecommunications Committee, EUT, and we're going to be looking at legislation that will deal with the decommissioning of these big solar farms when they have reached the end of life, how it occurs and who's going to pay for it and how it's done, how to clean up that property. So it's a pretty important issue at 3 p.m. Room 403 of the Capitol. Thank you. Thank you, Speaker.
An important meeting, room 3 p.m., room 403. 403, 3 p.m. Representative Brad Thomas, you have an announcement? Let's hear it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to remind all the Cherokee legislative delegation that we will be having a meeting upon adjournment in the anteroom. Thanks.
Chairman Williamson, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to let everyone know that the Majority Caucus will be having a lunch at noon today. Lunch noon in room 403 for the Majority Caucus. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman Robert Dickey is up again. Chairman Dickey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have two announcements. If you pay attention, all of you have this invitation. It's to this afternoon at 4:30 at the depot. Kathy Kazava and the members of the Georgia Food Industry Association and Kevin Perry and the Georgia Beverage Association invite you down for refreshments and social at the depot. That's tonight. And also our Ag and Consumer Affairs Committee will be meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning, CLOB. Thank you.
Good event. Join them at the depot. That concludes our announcements. We do have a birthday. There's an old white-headed guy over here has a birthday. No, I'm not. Chairman Noel Williams has a birthday. How old are you anyway? 82. Oh. Yeah, he does look like 82. Happy birthday, Mr. Chairman. You're a good man. Majority Leader of this House is recognized for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that this House stand adjourned until 10 a.m. on Wednesday, January 24th, 2024.
On the motion of the Majority Leader that this House stand adjourned until 10 a.m. Wednesday, January the 24th, 2024. All those in favor will say aye. Those opposed will say no. That was a little closer, but the ayes clearly have it. We are adjourned.